The cosmic collision. The hum of advanced machinery filled the International Space Station's research module, a delicate symphony of human innovation and cutting-edge technology. Rowan Martinez adjusted her neural interface, her fingers dancing across holographic displays that flickered with complex astronomical data. At 34, she was the station's lead quantum propulsion engineer, known for her unconventional approaches to space travel challenges. Her latest project was unlike anything NASA had ever attempted. A revolutionary propulsion system that could potentially reduce interstellar travel times from centuries to mere decades. The mathematics were elegant, the theoretical framework sound, but something was missing. A critical piece of the puzzle remained just out of reach. "Computer," Rowan called out, her voice steadied despite the mounting frustration, "run simulation Gamma 7 again. I want to see where the quantum entanglement breaks down." The station's AI responded in its neutral tone, "Simulation Gamma 7 initiated. Preliminary results show energy loss at 0.03 microfractures." A soft chime interrupted her concentration. An incoming transmission from Mission Control. Rowan's colleague, Dr. Marcus Rodriguez, appeared on the communication screen, his expression a mixture of excitement and concern. "Rowan, we've got something unusual," Marcus began, his voice tight with anticipation. "The Deep Space Monitoring Array just picked up an anomalous energy signature. It doesn't match any known stellar phenomena." Rowan's scientific curiosity immediately piqued. Unusual energy signatures were the lifeblood of breakthrough discoveries. "Send me the raw data," she commanded, already pulling up additional screening protocols. As the data streamed across her display, something extraordinary began to take shape. The energy signature wasn't random, it had a structure, a pattern that suggested intelligent design. Mathematical precision danced across the screen, revealing a complexity that defied current human understanding. Little did Rowan know that light years away, an alien vessel was experiencing its own moment of critical discovery. Aboard the Lumina research ship, Zara Nix was facing a similar moment of profound scientific revelation. Zara was different from most of her species. While her people believed in strict non-intervention policies regarding less advanced civilizations, she saw potential where others saw only primitive technology. Her silver-blue skin, embedded with bioluminescent neural pathways, reflected her species' advanced evolutionary state. "Quantum resonance detected," her ship's intelligent system announced. "Matching frequency found in external technological network." Zara's multifaceted eyes narrowed. The frequency matched a specific technological signature, human in origin. More precisely, it matched the quantum calculations being developed on the International Space Station. A decision loomed. Intervention could mean severe consequences under Luminan law. Non-intervention was their cardinal rule. But the potential for scientific breakthrough was tantalizingly close. Back on the space station, Rowan's simulation suddenly shifted. The quantum parameters that had previously collapsed now showed unexpected stability. Something external was influencing the system, something that shouldn't be possible. "Marcus," she called out, her voice a mix of scientific wonder and growing tension, "are you seeing this?" The stage was set. Two scientists from different worlds, separated by unimaginable distances, were about to collide in a moment that would change everything. Secrets of the Stellar Bridge. The quantum anomaly continued to pulse across Rowan's monitors, a rhythmic beacon of impossible data. Each oscillation challenged everything she understood about physics, space, and potential extraterrestrial communication. Dr. Marcus Rodriguez had been working alongside her for the past 36 hours, surviving on synthetic coffee and pure scientific determination. "Look at this pattern," Rowan muttered, her fingers tracing holographic lines that seemed to dance with an almost living intelligence. "It's not random. There's a deliberate mathematical sequence here." Marcus leaned closer, his exhaustion momentarily forgotten. "It's like, someone is trying to communicate, but not through traditional means. These quantum fluctuations are carrying information. Unbeknownst to them, light years away, Zara Nix was experiencing a parallel moment of discovery. Her ship's advanced neural interface pulsed with intricate light patterns, translating the quantum data into a language of pure mathematics and conceptual understanding. On the Lumina research vessel, the ship's central intelligence spoke in a melodic tone that resonated through Zara's neural pathways. Quantum bridge established. Preliminary communication protocols initiated. Zara's response was instantaneous, her thoughts translating into precise mathematical equations. The human technology she was observing was primitive by Lumina standards, yet it possessed a raw, innovative potential that fascinated her. Their approach to quantum mechanics was like watching a child prodigy take its first steps towards a complex dance. Back on the International Space Station, Rowan's breakthrough was about to take an unexpected turn. The quantum signature suddenly stabilized, creating a momentary window of unprecedented clarity. "Marcus, record everything," she commanded, her voice trembling with scientific excitement. "We're witnessing something unprecedented." A holographic projection materialized in the research module, not through any technology they had installed, but seemingly conjured from the quantum data itself. Intricate geometric patterns formed, then dissolved, then reformed with mathematical precision. "It's a communication method," Marcus whispered. "But not like anything we've ever seen." Zara, light years away, was simultaneously experiencing the same phenomenon. Her species' advanced perceptual abilities allowed her to see beyond the traditional limitations of space and time. The human technology was creating a quantum bridge, accidentally, yet with remarkable potential. The Luminan Council would be furious if they discovered her current actions. Their strict non-intervention policy prohibited direct contact with developing civilizations. But Zara had always been different. Where others saw rules, she saw opportunities for understanding. A critical decision point approached. The quantum bridge was stabilizing, creating a momentary connection between two technological systems that should have been fundamentally incompatible. Rowan's hands moved with practiced precision, her neural interface allowing her to manipulate quantum data in ways most scientists could only dream of. Each movement created ripples in the data stream, each calculation a potential key to unlocking a greater understanding. "We're establishing first contact," she murmured, "and we don't even realize it." The Lumina research vessel's advanced systems began to translate the human technological language. Zara watched in fascination as complex mathematical concepts transformed into visual representations, bridging the gap between two entirely different technological paradigms. Suddenly, a message began to form, not in words, but in pure conceptual mathematics. It was an invitation, a scientific handshake across the vastness of space. Marcus grabbed Rowan's shoulder, his excitement palpable. "Do you understand what this means? We're communicating with something beyond our current comprehension." The station's communication systems began to overload, unable to process the quantum data stream. Alarms blared, warning lights flashed, but Rowan remained focused. This was bigger than any single technological limitation. Zara realized the humans were on the brink of a breakthrough that could change everything. Their quantum technology, while primitive, possessed an innovative spark that her own civilization had lost centuries ago, the ability to imagine beyond established scientific boundaries. As the quantum bridge reached its peak stability, a single complex equation emerged, a mathematical representation of potential, of connection, of something far beyond traditional understanding. The Luminan Council would attempt to suppress this discovery. They would see it as a threat, a potential contamination of their established scientific worldview. But Zara saw something different, a chance for genuine interstellar understanding. "Activate quantum translation matrix," she commanded her ship's intelligence. The next moments would determine the course of two civilizations' future. On the International Space Station, Rowan Martinez stood at the precipice of the greatest scientific discovery in human history. The quantum data continued to pulse, waiting, promising something extraordinary. The quantum resonance. The aftermath of the quantum bridge's initial contact sent shockwaves through both human and Luminan technological systems. Rowan Martinez found herself at the center of a rapidly escalating scientific mystery that threatened to redefine humanity's understanding of communication and space exploration. NASA's emergency response team arrived at the International Space Station within hours of the initial quantum event. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, the lead scientific investigator, studied Rowan with a mixture of skepticism and barely contained excitement. "These readings are unprecedented," Elena muttered, her fingers dancing across multiple holographic displays. "It's like someone, or something, is trying to communicate through quantum entanglement." Rowan knew the implications were far more profound than her colleagues could imagine. The quantum signature they detected wasn't just a random signal, it was a deliberate, complex communication attempt that defied current scientific understanding. Meanwhile, aboard the Lumina research vessel, Zara Nix faced her own set of challenges. The Luminan High Council had been alerted to her unauthorized quantum bridge experiment. An emergency transmission crackled through her ship's communication systems. Scientist Zara Nix, the Council's lead adjudicator's voice rang with cold authority, "You have violated the primary directive of non-intervention. Immediate return and containment are mandated." Zara's response was calculated. The quantum potential of the human technological system represents a critical scientific opportunity. Suppression would be a fundamental error in our understanding of interstellar communication. Back on the space station, the quantum data continued to pulse with increasing complexity. Marcus Rodriguez had been working non-stop, analyzing every microscopic variation in the signal. "It's like a language," he explained to Rowan, "but not a language of words. It's a language of pure mathematical concepts. Each quantum fluctuation is carrying layers of information we're only beginning to comprehend." The station's systems began to show signs of strain. Complex algorithms that typically managed routine operations now struggled to process the incoming quantum data. It was as if the very fabric of their technological understanding was being rewritten. Zara recognized the pattern immediately. The humans were inadvertently creating a quantum communication method that her own civilization had abandoned centuries ago, a direct neural mathematical interface that transcended traditional communication barriers. A critical moment approached. The quantum bridge was becoming increasingly unstable, threatening to collapse and potentially causing catastrophic damage to both technological systems. "We need to stabilize the connection," Rowan declared, her mind racing through complex mathematical scenarios. "If we lose this opportunity, we might never recreate it." The Luminan High Council's response was swift and brutal. They dispatched an intervention team, a specialized group designed to contain and suppress any potential technological contamination. Zara knew she had limited time to prevent what would essentially be a scientific suppression. Her own ship's systems began to prepare for a potentially dangerous quantum resonance maneuver. If successful, she could create a protective quantum field that would shield the human research from external interference. On the International Space Station, the quantum signals began to create holographic representations, complex geometric shapes that seemed to pulse with an almost living intelligence. Each shape was a mathematical concept, a piece of a larger communicative puzzle. "It's trying to teach us something," Marcus whispered, his scientific excitement reaching a fever pitch. "Not just communicate, but actually transfer knowledge." Rowan understood the profound nature of this moment. This wasn't just first contact, this was a potential bridge between two entirely different technological civilizations. The quantum data was showing them a way of understanding that transcended language, transcended traditional communication. The intervention team from the Luminan civilization was closing in. Zara made her decision. She would protect this nascent connection, this fragile bridge of understanding. Quantum stabilization protocol initiated, her ship's intelligence announced. The space station systems began to vibrate with an energy that defied conventional physics. Marcus and Rowan watched in awe as the quantum signals began to form more complex patterns, each iteration revealing deeper layers of potential understanding. Crossroads of civilizations. The quantum bridge reached a critical point of instability, creating a cascading effect that threatened to tear apart the delicate scientific discovery. Rowan Martinez stood at the epicenter of what could be the most significant moment in human scientific history, her hands moving with surgical precision across holographic interfaces. "We're losing structural integrity," Marcus warned, his voice tight with tension. The space station systems flickered, quantum algorithms dancing on the edge of comprehension and complete breakdown. Unbeknownst to the human researchers, the Luminant intervention team approached with technology so advanced it appeared almost magical. Their quantum suppression protocols were designed to erase any trace of unauthorized scientific exploration, a surgical strike that would eliminate all evidence of the quantum bridge. Zara Nix worked frantically from her research vessel, her neural interfaces working overtime to create a protective quantum field. She understood something her own civilization had forgotten, that true scientific progress came from exploration, not suppression. Quantum stabilization at 62%, her ship's intelligence reported. Luminant intervention team approaching in 7 standard time units. On the International Space Station, the quantum signals began to transform. What had initially appeared as abstract mathematical patterns now started to resolve into something more recognizable, glimpses of complex technological concepts, scientific principles that seemed to transcend current human understanding. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, who had been monitoring the situation from mission control, leaned forward in her chair. "These aren't just signals," she muttered, "these are complete scientific paradigms. It's like someone is trying to download an entire civilization's scientific knowledge into our systems." Rowan recognized the profound nature of the moment. This was more than communication, this was a potential transfer of knowledge that could advance human scientific understanding by centuries. The Luminant intervention team's lead scientist, a cold, calculating individual named Vorn, prepared the final suppression protocols. "Unauthorized quantum bridge detected," he reported to the High Council. "Initiating complete data erasure and technological neutralization." But Zara had other plans. A sudden burst of quantum energy erupted from her research vessel. It was a complex mathematical algorithm, a protective barrier that would shield the human research from complete destruction. The intervention team's suppression protocols began to break down, each attempt to erase the quantum bridge meeting unexpected resistance. "Impossible," Vorn muttered, his advanced technological systems failing to penetrate the quantum shield. On the space station, Rowan and Marcus watched in awe as the quantum signals began to stabilize. The geometric patterns resolved into something resembling a blueprint, a complex scientific diagram that seemed to outline principles of interstellar travel far beyond current human capabilities. "It's a gift," Rowan whispered, understanding dawning in her eyes. "They're not trying to invade or destroy. They're trying to share knowledge." The quantum bridge reached its most stable point. For a brief moment, 2 civilizations stood on the precipice of a breakthrough that could redefine everything humanity understood about space, communication, and scientific exploration. Marcus grabbed Rowan's arm. "Do you realize what this means? We're not alone. And we're being offered something incredible." The Luminant intervention team found themselves in an unprecedented situation. Zara's quantum shield had created a protective bubble around the human research, preventing any attempt at suppression or erasure. "Quantum bridge stabilization complete," the space station systems announced. Data transfer at 79% and climbing. Vorn's final transmission to the Luminant High Council was simple and chilling: first contact protocol compromised. The humans have received something. As the quantum signals continued to pulse, Rowan Martinez realized they were standing at the most critical moment in human scientific history. Whatever came next would change everything. Harmony beyond the stars. The quantum bridge hung in a delicate balance, a testament to the extraordinary moment of potential first contact. Rowan Martinez stood at the epicenter of a discovery that would reshape human understanding of the universe, her hands trembling slightly as the final data transfers began to stabilize. Quantum data integration at 94%, the space station systems announced. Preliminary analysis suggests unprecedented scientific breakthrough. The intervention from Zara Nix had created an unexpected alliance. Her quantum shield had not only protected the human research but had opened a window of communication that defied all existing scientific protocols. Dr. Elena Rodriguez burst into the station's primary research module, her face a mixture of excitement and disbelief. "The data we're receiving," she said, her voice barely above a whisper, "it's revolutionary. Propulsion technologies that could reduce interstellar travel time from centuries to months. Medical advancements that could eliminate diseases we've struggled with for generations." Marcus Rodriguez was systematically documenting every quantum signal, his fingers flying across holographic interfaces. "It's not just technology," he explained. "It's a complete knowledge transfer. Mathematical principles, scientific methodologies, entire philosophical approaches to understanding the universe." Aboard the Luminon research vessel, Zara faced her own reckoning. The Luminon High Council's transmission crackled with barely contained rage. "You have violated every established protocol," the lead adjudicator thundered. "Your actions threaten the fundamental principles of our scientific non-intervention policy." Zara's response was calm and calculated. "We have become stagnant," she replied. "True scientific progress comes from connection, not isolation. These humans possess a potential we have forgotten, the ability to imagine beyond established boundaries." Back on the International Space Station, the quantum signals began to resolve into something more than just data. Complex holographic projections appeared, intricate diagrams of technological systems, medical breakthroughs, and scientific principles that seemed to defy current human understanding. "It's a gift," Rowan realized, her scientific mind racing to comprehend the magnitude of what was happening. "They're offering us a key to understanding the universe in ways we never imagined." The Luminon intervention team found themselves in an unprecedented situation. Vorn, their lead scientist, watched in frustrated disbelief as their attempts to suppress the quantum bridge continued to fail. "The humans are receiving complete scientific paradigms," he reported to the High Council. "Our suppression protocols are ineffective." As the final quantum transfers completed, a moment of profound silence fell across the space station. The implications were staggering. Humanity was about to receive a scientific legacy that could advance their civilization by centuries. Dr. Elena Rodriguez broke the silence. "This changes everything," she said, her voice a mixture of awe and scientific excitement. "We're not just receiving technology. We're receiving a perspective on the universe that could redefine our entire understanding of existence." Zara made her final decision. As the quantum bridge began to stabilize, she sent one final transmission, not to the Luminon High Council, but directly to Rowan Martinez. "The journey of understanding begins now," the message read. "Protect this knowledge. Grow. Explore." The space station systems began to integrate the new scientific data. Quantum algorithms that had seemed impossibly complex now started to make sense. Medical databases updated with technologies that could eliminate diseases. Propulsion systems revealed principles that could make interstellar travel a reality. Marcus looked at Rowan, understanding passing between them. "We're not just receiving information," he said. "We're being invited to join something bigger." As the quantum bridge began to dissolve, leaving behind a treasure trove of scientific knowledge, Rowan Martinez understood that humanity had just taken its first true step into a larger universe. The Luminon High Council would attempt to suppress this discovery. Zara would face consequences for her actions. But something fundamental had changed. First contact had occurred. And nothing would ever be the same.